Imagine judging someone's entire character in under 30 seconds. That's the halo effect at work, a cognitive illusion that warps your perception, making you see brilliance where there's only charm. You walk into a job interview. Across the table sits a tall, impeccably dressed candidate with effortless charisma. Within 30 seconds, you feel trust. You assume competence, intelligence, and ethics. Then comes a second candidate, shorter, disheveled, with a nervous stammer. You brace for mediocrity. This isn't rational assessment, it's a cognitive illusion. The halo effect, a mental shortcut honed over millennia, distorts your perception of reality. One positive trait, like physical attractiveness, casts a halo over everything else you perceive about a person, product, or idea. It's one of the most pervasive errors in human judgment, operating beneath conscious awareness, influencing courtroom verdicts, classroom grades, corporate promotions, and political elections. The halo effect was formally introduced by American psychologist Edward Thorndike in a 1920 paper in the Journal of Applied Psychology. Studying how military officers rated their subordinates, he discovered a striking pattern. Ratings on specific traits, intelligence, leadership, character, physical appearance, were highly correlated. If a soldier was rated highly on good physique, they were disproportionately likely to be rated highly on unrelated traits like intelligence and loyalty. Thorndike concluded that a single general impression of a person halos the perception of their specific attributes, creating an illusion of consistency where none exists. The term halo evokes a religious image, a radiant circle of light surrounding a holy figure. In cognitive terms, it's a glow of positivity that obscures the details of actual character or performance. Social psychologists Karen Dion, Ellen Burchade, and Elaine Walster conducted a landmark 1972 study. They presented participants with photographs of individuals pre-rated as attractive, average, or unattractive. Participants then rated these individuals on personality traits and life outcomes. The results were unequivocal. Physically attractive people were consistently judged as more socially desirable, more intelligent, more competent, more likely to get good jobs, and even more likely to have happy marriages. This beautiful is good stereotype has measurable consequences. A meta-analysis of over 700 studies on physical attractiveness and employment found that attractive individuals are significantly more likely to be hired, receive higher starting salaries, and be promoted faster, even when qualifications are identical. The halo effect operates as a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because we expect attractive people to be more competent, we give them more opportunities. Beyond physical attractiveness, the halo effect extends to any salient positive or negative trait. In the 1940s, Solomon Asch presented participants with a list of traits describing a hypothetical person: intelligent, skillful, industrious, warm, determined, practical, cautious. When the word warm was replaced with cold, the entire impression shifted. The cold person was perceived as unsociable, ruthless, and calculating, while the warm person was seen as generous and popular. This demonstrates that the halo effect isn't just about beauty, it's about any dominant trait that colors our initial impression. One word, one trait, can completely reshape how we perceive someone's entire character, showing how fragile and biased our first impressions truly are. In a 1977 study, Richard Nisbet and Timothy Wilson asked university students to evaluate a guest lecturer. The lecturer, a native English speaker with a slight Belgian accent, was shown in two video conditions. In one, he responded warmly and friendly. In the other, he was cold and distant. Students were explicitly instructed to rate only his physical appearance and mannerisms. Yet those who saw the warm version rated his appearance, accent, and mannerisms as significantly more appealing, even though his physical appearance and accent were identical in both videos. This study powerfully demonstrates how a global impression of warmth or coldness can contaminate judgments of unrelated traits. The halo effect doesn't just affect our opinions, it rewrites our sensory perceptions. The halo effect isn't just a laboratory curiosity, it has profound real-world consequences. In courtrooms, attractive defendants are less likely to be convicted and receive lighter sentences. In schools, teachers give higher grades to students they perceive as more attractive or likable. In the workplace, charismatic leaders are often assumed to be more competent, even when their performance data says otherwise. Political candidates who are taller and more photogenic tend to win more votes. These effects persist despite our belief that we are rational decision makers. The halo effect operates automatically, below conscious awareness, shaping our judgments in ways we never realize. Recognizing this bias is the first step toward overcoming it and making fairer, more accurate assessments. So how do you escape the halo effect? The first step is awareness. Simply knowing about this bias can help you pause and question your initial impressions. Second, separate your evaluations. Judge each trait or performance dimension independently, rather than letting one positive quality color everything. Use structured criteria, like checklists or rubrics, to force yourself to assess each aspect on its own merits. Third, seek disconfirming evidence. Actively look for information that contradicts your first impression. Finally, slow down. The halo effect thrives on snap judgments made in seconds. When you take time to reflect, you give your rational mind a chance to override the automatic bias. With practice, you can train yourself to see people more clearly. If you found this exploration of the halo effect valuable, consider how first impressions shape your world. Awareness is the first step to clearer thinking.